Picture a 6-year-old child, lost and alone in the vast Australian bush, swallowed by a forest that stretches endlessly in every direction. Night is falling, temperatures are dropping, and a desperate search seems hopeless against the unforgiving terrain. Then one extraordinary hero steps forward, a bloodhound police dog with a nose that can find what's lost, no matter the odds. This is the heartwarming true story of how a canine's tracking skills rescued a child in Australia in 2015, turning a community's fear into a miracle of hope. Stay with us. You won't believe the incredible journey this dog led to bring a child home, a community's heart on hold. In the spring of 2015, a small town in Victoria, Australia, faced every parent's worst nightmare. A young child vanished into a dense forest during a family outing. The child, separated from their loved ones in a moment of innocent exploration, was alone in a wilderness of towering eucalyptus trees, rocky gullies, and hidden dangers. As the hours stretched into a cold, uncertain night, the community banded together, clinging to hope but fearing the worst. Police, volunteers, and emergency services scoured the forest, but the vast terrain seemed to mock their efforts. Amid this anguish, a bloodhound police dog's unmatched scent tracking abilities emerged as the key to finding the child before it was too late. Welcome to Beyond Facts TV, where we uncover stories of heroism, resilience, and hope that go beyond the headlines. Today, we're diving into the missing child rescue case, a powerful tale of a town's unity, a family's desperation, and a canine hero whose nose led to a life-saving reunion. Join us as we follow the trail of a bloodhound named Tracker, whose determination transformed tragedy into triumph. A child's world in a rural haven. The child, a 6-year-old named Jamie, a pseudonym to protect their privacy, was a bright and curious soul in their rural town in Victoria's Gippsland region. Jamie was known for their boundless energy, often seen racing through the town's playgrounds or sketching animals they spotted on family hikes. Their home was a modest farmhouse on the edge of town, surrounded by fields where they played with their older siblings and the family's golden retriever. The town itself was a tight-knit community of farmers, teachers, and small business owners, where everyone knew each other's names and shared meals at annual fairs. The nearby state forest, a sprawling expanse of eucalyptus groves, fern-filled gullies, and winding creeks, was a beloved backdrop for the town's families. Locals hiked its trails, camped under its stars, and taught their children to respect its beauty and dangers. For Jamie, the forest was a magical place, filled with possibilities for adventure. Their family, led by their parents, Lisa and Tom, often spent weekends exploring the bush, packing picnics, and telling stories by the campfire. Jamie's favorite game was chasing butterflies or pretending to be an explorer, a trait that endeared them to everyone. But this love of exploration would lead to a moment that tested the town's spirit, as a routine outing turned into a race against time to save one of their own, swallowed by the forest. On a warm spring day in 2015, Jamie's family set out for a picnic in the state forest, a tradition that brought them closer to nature and each other. The picnic site, a clearing near a bubbling creek, was alive with the sounds of birds and the scent of blooming wildflowers. Jamie, dressed in a red jacket and sneakers, was in high spirits, darting around with their siblings and collecting pebbles to show their parents. As the family set up blankets and unpacked sandwiches, Jamie wandered a short distance, drawn by a flash of color, a butterfly flitting through the trees. In their excitement, they followed it deeper into the forest, unaware of how quickly the familiar clearing faded behind them. Minutes passed before Lisa noticed Jamie's absence. She called their name, her voice echoing unanswered. Tom and the siblings fanned out, searching nearby paths, but the forest's density swallowed their efforts. Panic set in as they realized Jamie was truly gone. By mid-afternoon, they contacted the Victoria Police, who arrived swiftly, transforming the picnic site into a search command post. The forest, spanning thousands of hectares, was a daunting challenge. Its thick undergrowth hid trails, and its rocky terrain made navigation treacherous. Search teams, including police, State Emergency Service, SES, volunteers, and local farmers, deployed with flashlights, drones, and thermal imaging cameras. Helicopters buzzed overhead, scanning the canopy, but the forest's vastness and Jamie's small size made spotting them nearly impossible. As dusk fell, temperatures dropped to near freezing, raising fears of hypothermia. The community gathered at the town hall, lighting candles and praying for Jamie's safety. A critical clue emerged when a volunteer found Jamie's red jacket, caught on a thorny bush near a creek, about a kilometer from the picnic site. The jacket, still warm with Jamie's scent, became the lifeline for the police's next move. Calling in Tracker, a bloodhound whose tracking skills could navigate the wilderness where others faltered. Tracker, the scent master. Tracker was no ordinary dog. A 3-year-old bloodhound with soulful eyes and a coat of rich tan, he was a star of the Victoria Police Dog Squad, renowned for his scent-tracking prowess. Bloodhounds are the gold standard for tracking, with noses 1,000 times more sensitive than a human's, capable of detecting scents diluted to parts per trillion. Tracker's droopy ears and loose skin weren't just charming. They funneled scents to his nose, enhancing his ability to follow a trail. His training was a masterclass in discipline, spanning months at the Victoria Police Canine Unit facility, where he learned to lock onto a human scent from items like clothing or bedding. Tracker was trained to ignore distractions, wildlife, weather, or competing odors, while pursuing a trail across urban streets or rugged bushland. His handler, Senior Constable Mark Evans, a 15-year veteran of the dog squad, had worked with Tracker since the dog was a pup, forging a bond of trust that made them a seamless team. Mark often described Tracker as a detective with 4 legs, capable of solving cases no human could. When Tracker was called to the search, 12 hours had passed since Jamie's disappearance, and a light rain was beginning to fall, threatening to wash away the scent. At the command post, Mark presented Tracker with Jamie's jacket, letting the bloodhound inhale deeply. Tracker's tail wagged, his nose twitching as he memorized the scent. Starting at the creek where the jacket was found, Tracker set off, nose to the ground, his long ears brushing the earth. The forest tested his skills. Gusty winds scattered scents, and animal tracks from kangaroos and wombats created false leads. Yet Tracker moved with purpose, weaving through dense scrub, over rocky outcrops, and across shallow streams. Mark and a small team followed, trusting Tracker's instincts as he navigated a path humans couldn't see. After hours of relentless tracking, covering nearly 3 kilometers, Tracker stopped at a small hollow beneath a fallen log. His ears perked, and he let out a sharp bark, his tail wagging furiously. Mark rushed forward, peering into the hollow, and saw Jamie, curled up, cold and exhausted, but alive, sheltered by the log's overhang. Tracker had found the child, turning a desperate search into a moment of pure joy, a miracle in the bush. Tracker's discovery was the moment that brought a community to tears of relief. Jamie, Though dehydrated, scratched, and shivering from the cold, was conscious and able to speak, whispering, "I'm okay," as Mark gently lifted them from the hollow. Paramedics, stationed nearby, rushed in with blankets, water, and a stretcher, providing immediate care to stabilize Jamie's condition. The child's resilience was remarkable. They had survived 12 hours in the wild, likely staying in the hollow to escape the wind. The police radio crackled with the news, "Child located, alive." At the command post, officers cheered and volunteers embraced, their exhaustion giving way to elation. Jamie was transported to a nearby hospital where doctors treated them for mild hypothermia and dehydration, predicting a full recovery. The police notified Lisa and Tom, who had spent the night praying at the town hall. The reunion was a scene of raw emotion, Lisa sobbing as she held Jamie, Tom thanking every officer and volunteer, and Jamie clinging to their parents, safe at last. Tracker, panting contentedly beside Mark, was the hero of the hour, showered with treats and pats from the team. The police investigation confirmed Jamie's disappearance was accidental. No signs of foul play, just a child's curiosity leading them too far. The jacket, a stroke of luck, had preserved enough scent for Tracker to follow, despite the rain and forest challenges. Forensic teams examined the hollow, finding no evidence of danger, only Jamie's small footprints and a few broken twigs. The Victoria Police Dog Squad praised Tracker's work, noting that his tracking covered terrain that would have taken days for human searchers to explore. The community organized a thank you event for the search teams, with Jamie's family presenting Tracker with a handmade hero dog collar. Jamie, after a week in hospital, returned home, their love for adventure undimmed but tempered with a new respect for the bush and a deep affection for bloodhounds, inspired by Tracker's rescue. The missing child rescue case is a shining testament to the extraordinary abilities of police dogs like Tracker, whose scent tracking skills brought a lost child back to their family's arms. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.